Welcome to the kitchen. My name's Petey. When I was a kid, I reached under a lawnmower and I cut off the tops of my two middle fingers on my fret hand. So I only play the guitar with two fingers. I played bass for many years. I kind of stuck with the guitar, which I had played for about a month before this accident. Anyway, my middle name is Peter, so I go by the name of Petey Twofinger. It's nice to meet you, and today I'm in my kitchen. I wanted to talk a bit about getting started with do-it-yourself electronics as that relates specifically to guitar pedals. Now, this video is for people that haven't really got their feet wet with this hobby, and I just wanted to shed some light, show some of the paths you can go down, and encourage people to provide themselves with a healthy foundation before diving in, perhaps getting it in a little bit over their head, or that feeling that you're in too deep, or firing up your BuzzBox 5000 and the thing just starts screeching, hissing, humming, and sparks are shooting out of it. Because that's a pretty shitty feeling when that happens. Believe me, I know. Anyway, the first point that I wanted to stress and try to hammer home was don't smoke weed when you solder. No, seriously, no PCP either, guys. Arm yourself with information. When I think of the veritable treasure trove of information and the wonderful blossoming community that we have, as opposed to the dark ages, pre-AOL free trial disc, it's mind-staggering. Actually, it's overwhelming how much information is out there. So I would encourage you to go ahead and make a folder on your desktop called DIY. And in there you could make a text file and start copying and pasting links. A few recommendations. R.G. Keene, who was like, a godfather in the community. R.G. Keene put together this database of information they call GeoFX. Also, there is, what's his name? Dano from Beavis Audio. Beavis, like, Beavis Audio, and that's really an excellent resource. He even has breadboard layouts, which is fantastic for beginners. Supplying yourself with this foundation, it's going to be invaluable as you go on. You want to start with having a basic understanding of the circuit, and not only that, but the individual components inside the circuit. What's that thing doing over there? What's that little guy there, that yellow one? What does he do? So if we understand that, you don't have to take a night class on electronics or be an electronic engineer. It's amazing how far one can squeak by with a minimum of knowledge. Not me, I haven't really squeaked very far. Anyway, you make yourself a folder. Don't cram it full of 10,000 schematics. You have to kind of sit down and come up with a 5-year plan. Short-term goals, long-term goals. Why am I getting involved in this? Am I going to clone? Am I going to come up with my own design? Am I going to sell to friends? Am I going to become the next guy with fishing lures in his hat? You've got to figure out a plan. You don't want to dig yourself in too deep. You don't want to be over your head. You really do want to kind of graduate, take this one step at a time. Honestly, the amount of time that I spend, and I hate using this word researching, because it's not like Indiana Jones and the Lost Diode Temple. You're just clicking on stuff and skim reading it. I read quickly. I'm a goof, but I can read fast. So I waste the amount of time that I'm reading or watching videos, not porn either. I mean, really researching. Compared to when the soldering iron is plugged in, is it's ridiculous. So life, again, is balance. Anyway, what else? Well, the forums, freestompboxes.org, Mad Bean has a forum. Do-it-yourself stomp boxes. Aaron, they have a section there that's called the Beginner Project. And what it is, this guy named Gus Smalley, he came up with the circuit called the Smalley boost, or the NPN boost. It uses a single transistor, which happens to be an NPN, and that's a type of transistor. Anyway, this is kind of like a ZVAX hard-on or LPB1 electro harmonic. It's a boost, and it really is it's an excellent boost. I use this, I tried a few different boosts when I first got started, and this is what I chose to go with when I designed my high gain fuzz, and I also have these in a bunch of the amplifiers that I built. So for a handful of parts, a minimum time investment, it really is worth the return. And if you go over to do-it-yourself stomp boxes and take a look at the beginner section, you'll see it's really laid out well. All of the information that you need is there. And there's an excellent Vero layout for this. There's even a couple versions of it. But to keep it simple, take a look. Do-it-yourself stomp boxes, beginner project, Gus Smalley NPN boost. The forum is there, that people are willing to help you troubleshoot, like you build something and it doesn't work. But imagine how difficult it would be to try to figure out someone's mistake through a keyboard. Think about that for a minute. So you're always better off kind of knowing what you're doing, knowing, what the individual parts do, as I said. Now you've sat down and you've set some goals in your mind. Now we have options. There's kits that include everything. Even the LED and the box is included in this kit. You're going to spend a little bit more money, but you're getting a kit with everything in it. Is that the best first choice? Well, that's up to you. There's printed circuit boards. These are professionally made circuit boards where you just add the parts, you populate the circuit board with the components. Again, is this the best choice for, a beginner? Well, my opinion is no. Vero or stripboard is an excellent option if there is not a PCB available. There's Vero layouts you can use. This is a little bit more challenging. Really, when you're starting out, my personal choice for the smartest way to go is to invest in a breadboard. And when I say invest, I don't want to scare anybody off because I paid $1.50 for this. It's $3 for 2 of these, but I think I had to pay some shipping. Now, what is a breadboard? Well, let's see. It's this plastic chassis, and then you have this grid of slots. Inside those slots are metal connectors, and they are actually connected in rows vertically. So this and all of these in here are connected up to this line, breaks the connection, and then we have these are all connected up in here. They're not connected from right to left, just up and down in those individual rows. And the reason for this large center chunk being missing here is for integrated circuit chips. This is where you place a chip. It goes in here rectangularly, and that's the way they go. You also see that there's these 2 rails, and you think, oh, well, that would be great for my power. You plug in like a red wire here going to your 9-volt battery, and your black wire going to the negative on the 9-volt battery. Well, now the older breadboards, the first one that I had, these strips were connected all the way on the bottom. Just want to be careful that they indeed do pass all the way through. I can show you this real quick. I'm going to break this video up into segments, which I hate to do, but it just makes sense because these are going to be long, talky videos. So maybe it would serve everyone better to break these up. Now, what I'm showing here, this is my multimeter, and I have it set to a setting called continuity, or CONT, cont. And with cont on, when you connect it together, you get the music. Now, what I was saying earlier about this is to make sure that this is indeed connected all the way through, what I can do is I can put one in here on the bottom, and then I take my other one in here and hear the music. No music. What's that telling me? Well, see here, when I touch them together, okay, it's working. So we'll go over here. Listen here. Okay, I'm getting it on 2. The second group of these connectors, I'm getting music. Try it on 3. Okay, I'm getting it on 3. What about 4? Nothing on 4. So what that says is in groups of 3 these are connected. So if my circuit was larger, it was going to run all the way over here, every 3 of these I'm going to need to put a jumper wire in between to make sure that electrons are flowing through on that rail. Now, as far as the wires go, they sell these affordable wire kits. You can get these. They have solid core wire in prefab. They're already cut and already stripped. You see they have different colors and different lengths, and they kind of look like little staples. They have big ones and little ones, short ones. Kind of tough to get out. I often use a needle nose to pull these little guys out. Now you don't necessarily have to, buy one of these kits. They're nice because, well, this one came with a holder, but if you have some solid core wire, I think foam wire a lot of times is solid core, you could just cut your own, make your own, As far as the breadboard goes, you're not going to be able to actually make your own. Interesting side note, this video is going to be like, it's going to take, there's no way anybody's going to watch all these. Anyway, the reason they call it a breadboard was in the olden days, see how I didn't say back in the day? I hate that. As the comments come rolling in, you racist dog. The breadboard was a breadboard. It was what the mom would cut her bread on, and then the dad would come in and take that. You would hammer nails in there and then run wires and wrap them. They actually breadboarded stuff back then. It's like, transformer, good. Bang, 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 and then, wire, bad, 110 volts, bad. So, yeah, breadboard. Nowadays, they're plastic, and I don't think my wife would ever cut up any carrots on this, so I don't have to worry about it. So, please join me in part 2, where I ramble on incessantly about something that probably isn't very relevant to this wonderfully exciting hobby of do-it-yourself electronics as it relates to guitar effect pedals. Thanks for joining me. Have fun. Peace. And keep on hacking.